Okay, how typical that this will be take 3 for this pick a card reading, where we're going to talk about what are you taking another look at during this Mercury retrograde. So this reading is a general, timeless reading. So even if you come upon it and it's not Mercury retrograde, it's okay if you feel drawn to take a listen and to choose a pile. But I just made a post on my Facebook business page, which is called Spiritual Conversation with Julie Mandy Teller. And I mentioned how Mercury retrograde is a time for us to take a new look at an old thing. And so I thought it would be nice to have this next reading we do here. We'll use this to ask Spirit to give us a heads up on what we should be revisiting, or what we might be revisiting during this Mercury retrograde. So you'll want to use your own intuition. Since it is a general reading, just take what resonates as true for you. Depending on which pile you pick, the reading will be for the collective of those who chose that pile. So it's got to be true for you. You know what's best for you. You know what's true for you. It'll feel like a remembrance. It'll feel like, yes, that's true. Okay, so we're going to go with pick 1 is this little pile of stuff. Pick 2 is this little pile of stuff. And pick 3 is this little pile of stuff. Okay? In my second take, I explained what all those were. I'm going to skip that this time. And we're going to start with pick 1. Okay, pick 1. Let's take a look. Spirit, I'm asking my guides, your guides, and our highest selves to help bring through the most helpful message for you at this time. So, give us some clues. We're going to use this channeled word deck that I made a while ago to start out. I'm actually just going to take the deck. It's really big, it's hard to shuffle. And I'm just going to cut it. Learning. Looks like the angle is... okay, I think you can see it. Angels. Medicine. This is the cannabis kind of medicine usually. That's why that's there. And earth. Okay, we'll put this deck aside for a minute here. And we're going to ask for some clarifying cards. Using the Light Seers Tarot. This is the little Light Seers mini deck. I really like it. I usually am prone to using oracle cards just because I hadn't really learned tarot very well. But I've learned that I can read tarot intuitively, especially with this deck with all the pictures, and I really like that. Okay, 9 of Cups. You are working towards some sort of wish fulfillment, some sort of state where you feel like you've accomplished a lot, where you have a lot to show for it. Let's see. And I think it's kind of like you'll realize it was great all along. You had it all along. Everything was good all along. It's just that some of the beliefs that you had were limiting your view, and those are crumbling away now. So whatever you're looking at again, you're learning something new that makes you realize that you have it really good. That you've had angels with you the whole time that you've been on here on Earth. You may be like a medicine woman or a medicine man, and you may be learning a lot more about your roots and what you're here to do with that knowledge. Because things are going to be crumbling, you might be experiencing a time where you feel like you need to hold on to things really tight and not be so giving of yourself. So it's acknowledging that. while you do some healing. So it's going to feel like you're doing some healing. So when we talk about medicine, maybe it'll just be this, you know, earth medicines, herbs, things like that. Other than that, you may be letting go of certain medicines that you had to take all along because you realize that you can shift your energy to not need them anymore, that you can give yourself what you need. There's a lot of healing going on for you during this time. That's what this Mercury retrograde is about. You're going to see the ways that you're already whole and shed the energies that are keeping you in the thought of limitation and looking to something outside of yourself to make you feel complete and whole and to give your power to. You're going to be taking back a lot of your power. I feel drawn to find my runes deck that I just made here, so let me just take a look at what I did with that. Where is that lovely little... I don't know why I'm going for the runes deck, because I know I don't know the runes that well yet. I do have my phone handy, I could look them up. Yeah, but I am being asked to get it, so I'm gonna get it. It's not the runes. Hermes, Oracle. You know, it's pretty typical, I would say, for me to have a difficult time finding something that's right in front of my face, right? During this period where we're talking about Mercury retrograde, it's a time of retakes, you know? It's like slow down and really take a look at this and set your intention before each action and each interaction. Okay, so while I have these in my hand, I'm going to take some cards from the drawing oracle. You may feel like you've been planted, and it may feel like it's a lot, like this withdrawal that you may feel like going in. It's going to be very beneficial to you. You're going to see a lot about yourself, but you also may feel like you don't have the energy to move right now. You kind of need to be in stillness. You need to be contemplating. You need to be looking at different possibilities and letting your angels bring you what you need to know. You know, it'll be brought to you. You don't have to go seeking. The nutrients that you need are in the soil of being on Earth. Fehu, Elgiz, and Perthro. Okay, let me take a look at what these are. Can you see these? I don't think you can see them, so I'm going to move them up here. And I'm going to grab my phone. And we're just going to take a deep breath, because it's not a bad idea to slow down while we do this. And I need to bring up a chart. Runes. Meaning chart. And we've got wealth, mother. Elgiz is protection, divine protection. It's like kind of like you're withdrawing into the womb in a way, but it's the womb of Earth. And Perthro. divination, luck, primal law. Yeah, you're gonna be sitting still, you're gonna be shedding what isn't true, and you're gonna be revealing to your own self the gifts that you have here that have been carried over. I think that it is that you are a healer, a medicine man or woman. You're learning about your own skills, and you're going to be taught through your angels, through your guides, through your highest self. But you have to stop and listen. So whatever it is that makes you slow down, if it is an illness, or if it is just a day off, if it is plans getting canceled, if it is that it's vacation time, if it is that, you know, someone cancels plans on you, or you just don't have the energy to do something, that is part of this. You know, it's okay to take that time to withdraw into yourself and hold your cards close to your chest and not be so giving of yourself, even though you know you have a lot to give, while you study and learn and let yourself be imparted upon by the divine order, while you reveal to your own self what it is that you have inside you, wanting to join you for the rest of your journey. Okay. That sounds very interesting and reasonable. And what kind of Mercury retrograde reading would this be if we didn't consult the Hermes deck? So, I'm going to look at the Hermes deck now. Hermes, any advice for pick one? Any advice for pick one at this time? Make sure you know that you've done nothing wrong. This is all perfect. It's happening the way it's supposed to. You weren't ready before now. What you're revealing about yourself was there all along, but it wasn't time for you to be focused on it yet, until now, when it's going to be put right in front of you. Roads and doorways, you may be faced with choices. The choice to delve into this, the choice to ignore it and go on with this busy schedule that you might have otherwise obligated yourself to. God of Winds, yeah, you're going to be getting messages through symbolism, through other people, through things you watch, through things you see, you may be opening up some of your clairs, or your messages will come through your clairs if they're already open. So that's clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant. There's another one too. Superhuman strength, agility, reflexes, immortal, run and fly faster. Yeah, you're becoming superhuman in a way. So what you're opening yourself to is something that isn't utilized by everybody. It's your unique thing that you're bringing. And there is some unknown factors here, they're saying. You know, you can't know everything. So if you're trying to know everything, that's not going to be a good use of your time, because, as we said, this is going to be imparted upon you when you... Okay. Now, one more thing before I let you go. Pick one. We're going to take one or two cards from the Custom Advice Oracle. I don't feel like there should be much from this deck, but I just want to see. Moon. Oh, it's more like it's not going to be all known to you. There are going to be unknowns, but your intuition is going to be so keen, so heightened. So, and it may be clear sentience, that you're getting a lot of it through, because it's your feelings, it's your emotional body. Okay, so be open to that. Look, I said be open to that, and we got the card Welcome. Yeah, you're welcoming this in, okay? So you want to be in the receptive mode. That's the moon energy. Receptive, feminine, receiving. There was a spiritual teacher, I guess you could call her, that I paid attention to for a minute, and this is years ago now. And I adapted her suggestion a little bit and have been using it with the adaptation for myself, but I want to give her credit. Her name was Fiona Haven. And what she said was to be in the receptive mode, you could picture yourself in front of a huge water wheel. You know those big water wheels that move water? So the step that I added for my own self, because I didn't feel comfortable with imagining a big water wheel pouring onto me, I also imagined myself as a giving fruit tree, which is in bloom with giving my fruit, so that I can still give, but I also can receive this big amount of water. So then you imagine the water wheel dumping water on you, and this automatically switches your energy through the visualization. Visualization is how we talk to our energy body. It puts your energy into the receiving mode. Okay? So that's just a little trick. You may have no problem getting into the receiving mode, and if you know that's true for you, then by all means, you do what works for you. Okay? And also it's good to make it your own. So just like I added something about her procedures to make it my own, I would encourage you to do the same if you were going to do something like that, because you do have very good intuition, you do have guidance, you are able to guide yourself through things like this, so it's important to let yourself do that, right? Okay. I think we're going to end the reading there. Pick one. I hope that that's helpful to you. And I get to do adventures in editing on this video. I usually go unedited, so very interesting for me. I'll see you next time. Thank you for spending your time with me. I picked two. So if you chose this middle pile with this nice Amazonite and the little cute mushrooms and the spheres, this is your reading. We're taking a look at what will this Mercury retrograde be bringing you a chance to look again at. So in order to do this, we are first getting a few cards from my word deck. So we got duality, create, building, and driving. Okay, very interesting. Let's get some clarifying cards for these. Obviously you're going to be creating or building something. There's going to be a chance for you to look at two sides of a thing, right? And that you may be utilizing your masculine energy to go forth with something. Okay. You may feel like withdrawing from celebration and from other people or even your partner at this time. Yeah, there may be, it's like you're taking some time away from loved ones. There's some sort of separation possibly. Just some isolation so that you can create. You may have to do something to create the isolation. Like you may feel that, right? Like it may be that, like when you're around a lot of people, you just kind of feel antsy and annoyed, and like you should be spending some time with yourself. And that is your clue that that's true. Yeah, you got the King of Pentacles, so he's a very competent, self-sufficient boss guy who knows what he wants and needs. He doesn't need anyone else telling him, so you will know when you need this time apart to work on this creation. And let's see, I'm just looking at the card here to read it. This card is sneaking away, being deceptive, but it's in reverse. So maybe when you want to take this time to yourself, your loved ones or loved one will be suspicious, will be untrusting, will think that you've got something up your sleeve, or that you're not paying attention to him or her, that you're moving on, like, it can be true that your loved one needs reassurance from you and that you need time alone. Like, both can be true, right? There's duality here. So it's like, I feel like the thing that's going to come into light is that more than one thing is true in this situation. So taking all things into consideration will help you be more effective, where the King of Pentacles might only focus on himself and his wealth and what he wants to do, without paying attention to somebody else's emotions that he may be tied to. I think it might even be that you have to step away from celebrations, right? Like, you may be the one who's canceling the plans with pick one. It feels like you have to decide some things on where to go and what to do, and like, you're not afraid of looking at all the options about the road you're about to travel. I think you feel inspired. You feel inspired, and now that you know, you may even be traveling. Look, we got driving, and here there are the roads. But you may be inspired to go someplace on your own, and it may cause suspicion if there's actually a celebration going on. We got kiss here. So maybe there's a kiss that is relevant to whatever is inspiring you. Oh yes, because look at these little kissy lips. I think a kiss has inspired you. Maybe it's like a kiss from God, a kiss from Spirit, a kiss from your loved one. Maybe inspired you to like go in this other direction. But there's something where it seems shady, but I don't think it's necessarily shady. I'm not getting necessarily that it is, but we can look at it some more. But the duality is showing me like that's whatever it is, it can be looked at as the opposite thing too. Okay, and I'm just looking at my runes chart here. And so Willow, Thunderbolt, Wheel of Power. Yes, you're being inspired with some sort of download of information that is going to give you an idea of what you need to create. It may give you an idea, an impulse that you need to travel somewhere. You may impulsively decide to do this, and we can ask in a minute and see what it is going to create. A reason to celebrate. I'm just asking for some more runes here. This one means God, ancestors. And let's ask for one more. Theresis. Let's see what this is. Protection, polarity, regeneration. Polarity and duality. Yeah. Your ancestors are protecting you on this. It's you're feeling like the impulse. You're feeling the inspiration. You've been kissed by the impulse to go do something, and it's something that you know that you'll be celebrating. You'll be celebrating that you want to do it, that creating something new. Tell us a little bit more. Let's ask the Hermes deck about. There's going to be some unknowns. Oh, look. Unconditional love is present here. Like the mother, the nurturing. There's going to be a messenger. Like you may need to like give somebody a message about your plans. And you're utilizing your talents and skills. Okay, it seems really vague, you know, at this point. I would agree, if you were thinking that too. Is there anything else we should know? You may be inspired to go on vacation even. Someplace tropical, someplace fun, someplace... You may be traveling in your imagination. You may be creating something in your imagination before you go to create it in the world. Okay? I want to clarify the Seven of Swords. Please clarify the Seven of Swords for us, Spirit. It's a solo thing. And you know what you have to do. It's a passionate drive burning for you. Please clarify the Four of Wands in reverse. You're creating love. You're creating a space that you can have love in. Two of Wands. Clarify the Two of Wands, please. You had to spend the time alone to get the inspiration. You have to maybe deliver a message that's like blunt, that's short and sweet, that says, I gotta go do this. Let's talk about clarifying the King of Pentacles. So it's interesting because the Ace of Cups is a heartfelt inspiration, but you're acting from the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. So it's like you're a very competent, intellectual king. You know, that's the energy. But you're being called to something that's tender, that's loving, that's new, that's fresh, that's fantastical. The King of Pentacles and is being clarified by the Four of Pentacles. You didn't get to be a King of Pentacles by giving it all away. So that's why when you're delivering the messages that you're giving, you're not being so forthcoming with your heart. You're being blunt and direct and to the point. Give me more about the Seven of Swords, please. Hierophant. Something that you might be breaking a commitment, whether it was like just an invitation to go to a party or an expectation of somebody, a loved one, a partner. Yeah, something is going through an ending. You're ready to end something that it was like you couldn't express your heart in that thing. That's why you have to leave it behind. It made you miserly. It made you have to hold things close to your chest. That's what you're leaving behind, something like that. And you are, by doing this, you're using your talents and skills to go in the direction of something more loving that's inspired by love. You're protected to do this. Your ancestors are guiding you. They want this for you. The Sun, you're going to be stepping into more of who you really are. This frees up something that has been locked away for you. Let's clarify the... I want to get the other deck for this. So let's clarify the... driving, because I want to see if there's anything more about that. Let's clarify the driving. Why is driving here? And the road. Let's clarify driving and the road. Courage, persuasion, influence, compassion. You got strength, which is also got the infinity symbol there. This is something that you knew you had to do, and you had to get your courage to do it because of whatever you're having to leave behind. It was hard to leave behind. And you weren't being true to yourself by keeping that thing in your life. And it was causing you to have to close down your heart and not be as generous as you wanted to be. And now you're going to be driven towards a new idea. You want to know more. And when you communicate in this way, this cutting way, you may be given opportunity to see how that works and see what doesn't work about it, right? Maybe you tried to leave this situation before and it didn't work out well. Maybe there was, like, it came back together, or you couldn't quite get the point across, or something like that. And now you're going to have a chance to do it in a new way. And what needs to be said? Like, both things are true. You enjoyed the thing, you loved the thing, it was good for you for a period of time, and then also the thing has expired for you. It's not serving you anymore, whatever it is. And it could be a way of communicating, could be a way of relating, could be a way of keeping yourself. You didn't hear me. Yeah, this is definitely about something you've already tried to communicate that you will have an opportunity to communicate again. Where have you been? What needs to be said? Where have you been? Someone's going to be curious, I think, about where you're going and what you're doing and why you're not doing what you usually do. And you're going to have to explain it. I'm distracted, you know? Maybe that's enough. Maybe before you over-explained yourself and then you got talked out of it because of it, right? Because you were giving a lot of excuses, and then the person you were telling or the people you were telling were just solving all the excuses, so that then you had no excuse. Instead of just being strong in what you were saying and saying, you know, this is it, I'm doing something else, period. Using I statements. Now, I feel compelled to use the deck I'm developing for this, because I know there's some good stuff that'll be helpful in communicating in a fair manner. And that looks to be like something that's going to be really important for your situation, and also like that no one can argue with. Okay. Do you love the totality of their existence or the fragments of them that cater to you? I feel like this is you are catering to somebody else or something else, or it could be reversed, right? If somebody was catering to you, they may be now trying to let you know that it's not working for them anymore, or vice versa, right? So do you love the totality of their existence or the fragments of them that cater to you? And the other one is hold space for the other. Know they can heal and understand. Expect the best for them. So whoever you're having to deliver this difficult message to, again, hold the space. You know, don't baby them. Don't. Just know that they can handle this. Know that they got this. Know that their highest self is guiding them too. Their highest self can get them through what this message is being conveyed and what's in their best interest in response to it. Ask for clarity of intentions. Right? So if somebody's questioning you, you want to ask for clarity of intentions, or you want to make your intentions clear. Perhaps it's just a matter of making sure that your own intentions are clear in the situation. Anything else here from the What Needs to Be Said deck? I led you on. So maybe there's somebody realizing that they don't love the totality of the other, that they just love the parts that catered to them, that led them on. It seems like there's a heartfelt inspiration that needs to be followed, and a please forgive me. Okay. I want to get one more clarification for the Four of Wands and the Ace of Cups, okay? Four of Wands, Ace of Cups. One more clarification here. Disagreements, completion, winning at all costs, and the Hanged Man. Maybe you're not in the habit of listening to your heart, so you're really torn about it. You don't know if you can trust it. You see that it's kind of going to cause a little bit of problems with somebody to follow your heart, and you are having to spend that time alone contemplating the best route ahead because of that. Clairvoyance. You may have had a vision. Whatever, if you're having dreams or visions, those are something to pay attention to. Okay? There will be clues in your dreams and visions. So, this is very interesting. You know, you saw me keep digging, and that's because it got me curious. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And it didn't really allude to a lot, but we did get Hermes saying that there's more to know, that we don't know everything about this situation. Or maybe that was in the last pile. Did you say that, Hermes? Thrice great. So, like, maybe you've tried to talk about this thing 2 times before, and it's like, third time's a charm. You know? You got this. Pick 2. I hope that's helpful. Very interesting reading. I bet there's some Aquarius energy in here, you know? Like, it's like you're kind of breaking free from old ways, I feel. And that's very Aquarius. That's very forward thinking, and you're doing it's like you may have to say something really difficult to say, but you're going to be able to say it in a way that's like, it's kind enough, you know, it's not mean, right? It's not mean, but it's true, and it still holds your truth. So you have to honor all parties in this when you're communicating, I think, is kind of what it's saying. Okay, or at least you'll have an opportunity to. What you do is your choice, of course. Okay, pick 2. We'll see if I say anything else while I'm cleaning these cards up, but I think that might be all for your reading. I do want to thank you for spending your time with me. I appreciate it. I hope you find this interesting. And please consider giving the video a like if you do, or a dislike if you don't. Gonna clean these up and then move on to pick 3. It's interesting because this pile could have been the flipped side of pile 1 if 2 parties, you know, were present in a situation. So that's interesting. So if you looked at it that way, you would see that like what's right for you is actually right for the other 2. They just might not know it, right? Okay. Alright, we'll leave it there, and thanks very much. We'll see you next time. Okay, pick 3. We are looking at what are you revisiting during this Mercury retrograde. So far, it's been interesting. And wow, I just got really lightheaded for this one, so I'm just gonna clear the energy a little bit. We got flavors, higher view, moon, and angel. I feel like I need to take this as well. Music. Okay. That's from my Word Oracle deck. Cups. Cups is in there too. Let's love. Okay. Now we're going to get some cards from the tarot deck. So far I'm feeling like you are being inspired, you know, by the spiritual realm, looking at things from a higher view, and perhaps even indulging in alchemy through music. You're indulging in the goodness of being on earth, right? Like through music, through love. But you're also very much aware of the higher realm and the higher way of looking at things. And let's see. Maybe it's like you're going to express this feeling of being bound to earth in a way that's really beautiful. You're going to bridge the gap between what it feels like to forget who you are and to be on earth without the beauty of all this. But then when you look at the things, the sensual things, the beautiful things that you can experience. You know, one time I fell out of my body. I know that sounds really weird, but like it was earlier on in my journey, and it had never happened to me before. I didn't like speak to my guides at that time or anything like that. And I was using cannabis at the time, but I had never had experience like this, and trust me, I had used cannabis for a long, long time before this. But, so I used some cannabis in the middle of the night to go back to sleep, and as I was about to lay down, a voice, which I now know was one of my guides, said to me, "Do you want to see this?" And without skipping a beat, I said yes. And I don't even know why I didn't think about it very much before I said yes, but I just said yes. And then I fell out of the back of my body, like I felt myself fall out of the back of my body, and then I was looking at myself from outside of my body, like looking down at me in bed, and my boyfriend was there next to me in bed, sleeping. I looked like I was sleeping, and I was in sepia tones, and the whole room was in sepia tones. And I was just like, wow, you know, like, oh, I was like, ooh, this is cool. Like, I had studied enough to know that people talked about out-of-body experiences and things like that. So I was like, this must be what they mean. And then, shoop, I was right back in my body. And at that time, I was in the habit of writing in a journal, and I had it right next to my bed. So I grabbed it off my nightstand, and I start writing. And I'm writing about the experience, and I'm looking around the room, and I'm even like looking at the ink that I'm writing with, and it's like everything is just so beautiful. Looking at life through these eyes is just like, wow, everything's like gorgeous, and even this ink is such a beautiful shade of blue. Later, when I looked at the writing, it was actually black ink that I had written that in. And my experience of feeling everything in an enhanced way was showing me that being in a human body on earth is a gift, because you get to see things in a way that you can't when you're just a spirit. When you're just energy and you're not in a human body, in a human vessel, you're not experiencing things the way you do on earth. And I think there's a real beauty in it, and in indulging, and that's what this card flavors kind of refers to. It's like you can't taste flavors when you're a spirit, right? So I feel like that is kind of what's going on here, that you're going to really be looking at the ways to appreciate life from that higher view, but also with the benefits of being in the human body. Like, experiencing love is a big part of this. I think that love is going to come into this for sure for you. You may come into union or be just really enjoying the union that you're in. The Lovers. You may have a choice to make in love. Or there may just be a very spiritual, deep bond with another that you get to experience during this time. Yeah, just really indulging while on Earth. Like this is things that you couldn't do, right? If you're a spirit and you got a buddy who's also a spirit, like you're not having relations of the sensual kind when you're a spirit. You're not indulging in each other's bodies the way these lovers are. So I feel like you're going to be really indulging in things like that. Music, you're not hearing music the way it can give you chills, the way that it can make you recall something beautiful and emotional, you know. I think you're really taking the ways that you felt hindered in life and looking at them from a higher view and really finding the appreciation. You're taking the steps to solidify that as a part of your day-to-day life. The enjoyment of being in a body, of living on Earth in a human body. Yes, look at this. You're finding fulfillment to a level that you hadn't experienced it before. And it's like you missed an opportunity to do it before, and now you're going to be given that opportunity again. Okay, and we did get the Tower card, so the things that you thought were holding you back, they're going to crumble. You're not going to have them anymore, but it's opening you up to this beauty of life. So it might not feel good when things are crumbling, because those are the things you've always known. Those are the comfortable things. Those are the things that you felt like kept you safe. But they're also the views that kept you from really enjoying and being in the moment and knowing the beauty of things in a way that your soul and your angels want you to experience. You're breaking out of the box. You're breaking out of certain boxes of limitation that you had on yourself. So some filters that you had on life. Yeah, it's like you're oh yeah, wow. You're like if you were all the queens, and so you're the empress, or you're all the kings, so you're the emperor. You know, depending on which fits for you. But you are seeing things from a big, full view in ways that you weren't able to before, and love and open-heartedness are part of it. You're going to be inspired through an idea. You're going to feel passion, a flame burning, you know, like you're going to be driven to indulge in some of these things. And it's going to come from a download from your angels. And you're going to bring it to Earth. And you're going to say, okay, I see from the higher view that's what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like on Earth when I live out those energies, when I let myself enjoy. Wow, you're just getting inspired to enjoy life in a way that you hadn't enjoyed it yet. Let's see what this is. You're being projected. You're protected while you do this, and you're regenerating yourself. You're regenerating that missed opportunity. That's what you're doing during Mercury Retrograde. Some things have to be let go. But the payoff is really good. Got Jera. Let's see what Jera is. Jera, where are you? Earth. Cycles. Right action. Yeah, you're going to know the right action to take because you're going to be inspired to do it. You're going to find yourself in a cycle of like, oh, this always happens, right? I always feel this restraint. I always feel like I'm stuck, like I can't move out of this cycle. Here it is again. And then you're going to get an inspired idea of what to do to break out of it. And then you're going to ground something that has been guided to you by your angels, and that has been unclear up to this point. There's been confusion about it up to this point. We can tell that by the moon. Gibo. Let's see what Gibo means. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any of these. It's just, it happens. Divine interaction. A gift. You're being given a gift that you thought you missed out on. And all it is a perspective change that allows you to open to it. Some restrictions that you thought you were under are about to disappear, and it might just be that it's through your listening to your angels and your guides and seeing things from a higher view that you escape it. You open yourself to love, fulfillment, contentment, and from all angles. Wow. What does Hermes have to say about this? Purse. That you're going to be financially taken care of, that you don't have to worry about finances during this. Curious, that follow your curiosity. When you're curious, when you're like, why am I having this thought? Why does this thought not go away? What is this? Why does this idea keep popping up? Stop talking yourself out of it and be curious about it. That's what Hermes says. Anything else? Polarity. I saw polarity. So know that both things are true. When you think of the doubt, think of 3 reasons why it's not true. Right? That's going to dispel it for you and let you move past it. There is always correspondence. Yes. So what you expect is what you're going to get. So allow yourself the possibility that it won't go the way it always went. Charm through music. Look, charm through music. Maybe you're going to write a song. Maybe you're going to be inspired through a song. You'll be charmed through, like, you're going to get your message through a song. Maybe you're going to be able to express yourself through song. Calculated. Hermes, we're going to have to clarify calculated, okay? Because calculated isn't always a terrible thing, but it's interesting in this. What do you mean by calculated, please? It can't be calculated. What's so changing? You couldn't calculate it. You wouldn't have been able to figure that out in your mind. It's unclear. It's like you're following an impulse, you're following emotion, you're following your heart. It's not something that's calculable. Yeah. You get the idea and you take action. That's what happens. You're not the fool setting out with no intention. You're the page setting out with the intention of following through on a curiosity. Okay? And anything from the advice oracle, please? This is exciting for you. So please let me know if this happens, if this works out the way that the reading suggests, what you learn, how you feel about it, you know. Grounding. So stay grounded, you know, even though you're going to be kind of touched by the higher realms and have these downloads, you want to ground them to the earth. So sometimes this can be done by imagining cords from your root chakra or from your feet that stretch all the way into the center of the earth. So imagination is how you speak to your energy. Or if you can get in touch with and hug a tree, you know, that can be very helpful. We got Aquarius energy, which is forward-thinking, humanitarian energy. Aquarius is how we go forward as a humanity with the highest interest and the best interest of all in mind. Aquarius is a good friend. Aquarius is the hopes and dreams of humanity as we go forward into a new era. So Aquarius energy and 12th house. So here, this is kind of like the moon, where it's like things are not clear. There's a lot of spiritual stuff going on here, and part of what you're doing here is bridging a gap between an old way of being on earth, where you feel bound and weighed down and unable to move out of stuckness because of expectations and desires and things like that, right? And how to get free of that. So you're learning that, and then you're going to take the steps to do that, if you so choose, and then you will have been grounding to earth a concept that wanted to be here, that your soul came to bring for the betterment of all. Not just you, but you get to experience it first, right? Then it's a possibility for everybody. They see you as the example of something that hasn't been done, that isn't always done, right? So you may not feel like you have a lot of support. That might be the reason why you never took the steps, so you never opened yourself to hearing the guidance, you know? Maybe you've been just more logical. Because here, these are swords. This is the mind that's keeping you prisoner. It's just the mind. It's just thoughts. Okay? The heart sets you free in this situation for sure. And provides fulfillment of a lot. Of everything. Of all that you want. There's only one more step after this to get everything. You know? So, seems like it's worth experiencing, and seems like it's going to be a beautiful unfolding for you. So I hope that you can enjoy it and trust the process. And thank you for spending your time with me. I hope this is helpful in some way, and maybe we'll see you in the future. Bye, Pick 3.